All right, guys, welcome back to more 7 Days to Die Alpha 21 news. Today we're going to be talking about Bandits specifically. If you guys missed our last video, we kind of went into detail on some things that are going to be added to the game. Bandits were one of those. And in today's video, we're going to be just discussing the Bandits and how we think they're going to be implemented, or things that we would like to see and how they're going to be used in the game. With that being said, of course, I'm Obi. I'm joined by
Sobi.
With that out of the way, let's jump in.
With the picture that they released, you can see that there's going to be 3 different tiers of the bandits. You can kind of see one that's not as like armored, and then you have one that's kind of got like decent armor. He's got a helmet, like a flak jacket. You know, you can see he's got a little bit more gear on him. And then the third bandit you can see has a lot more armor, like actual like thick armor. So you can kind of assume like, hey, that one's going to be like the hard one, or maybe even like a boss tiered one. I'm not sure how they're going to really do that. I'm excited to see the tiers, like how they're going to play out with like having the different tiers. I kind of wonder, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, like, are they going to have them in, are they going to be like POI? Like, is it going to be, they're going to be in a specific POI, and the different kind of like no armor, medium armor, heavy armor, are they going to have like control of that whole POI, or kind of what's going to go on there? I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm hoping that it's not all just going to be POI specific. I do hope that they're going to be kind of wandering around the world, so that way you can actually run into them fighting zombies, or maybe looting. And the same goes with, and we'll go into more detail hopefully here in just a minute about this. Same goes with like maybe non-bandit NPCs as well. I'd like to see those added to the game. They've already said that they're going to have wandering traders added to the game, but kind of going back to what we were saying is, yeah, they do have 3 different tiers from what you can tell here, and I think that's going to be based off of your level, and then maybe also loot stage. So each biome has a specific loot stage, so maybe we might see that as well, or it could be more of a time-based thing, kind of like as you progress through time each week, the zombies, you know, you start to see new zombies kind of rolling out every few weeks, so that might be something there as well. But I am hoping that maybe it can be a little bit more biome specific. So like you start out in your green biome, you kind of have your basic guy there with like the bandana, and you know, I'm hoping that they have variations so that way they don't all look the same. You know, maybe just some slight clothing variations just to kind of switch things up a bit. But I would like to kind of see them, maybe, you know, you get your green biome and they've taken over something like a chop shop, and then as you progress you go into like your kind of medium-sized town, and maybe, you know, they've taken over like a large store or a warehouse, and then from there you go into like your big city and they've taken over maybe like a couple of large buildings. They've got catwalks, you know, in between them, guards stationed everywhere, and it's a good like point of interest for loot, not just for you, but also maybe it can tie into the quest, because we do know that if you if you play the game, you get the secret notes or whatever, and there's, you know, the whole like Duke's watching you kind of ordeal. So I'm kind of hoping they press further into that as well.
Yeah. Now, one thing that you said, you know, with like the loot, with having these bandits implemented into the game, that's one thing that I was actually kind of wondering is like, what kind of loot are they going to be dropping? You know, like obviously you would figure that it would be kind of like what we had said in our last video. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys go watch that. But one thing that we were kind of talking about is like, are they going to be dropping like food, ammo, you know, like weapons, weapon mods? Like, is this going to be a better way for you to get like more consistent ammo? Is this going to be a better way for you to get more consistent like weapon mods? Is this going to be a better way for you to get more consistent, you know, armor by chance? You know, are they going to be dropping, you know, like what is it that they're going to be dropping? You know, and I think that like, what are they going to be storing? I mean, you would imagine that if they have like a certain POI taken over, that they would have a larger stockpile of weapons, food, ammo, you know, first aid supplies, like medical supplies and stuff like that. So I almost kind of wonder, are these going to be, if they do have a certain POI taken over, are they going to have, is it going to be a bigger payout for you to actually go in and take out that POI? So, I mean, that could be something that we see. Obviously, again, we don't know, but I think that in and of itself, I mean, that would be very lucrative to me. I'm sitting there playing and I see a Bandit POI and I'm thinking payday. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be, I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely payday. And you know, and while you were saying that, I just thought about it. Well, maybe kind of like, you know how Valheim has like their end biome boss, maybe that can be kind of like the end biome boss for 7 Days to Die, where it's like, cool, we're kind of getting ready to move on to the next biome, but we know that there's a bandit stash here and we're gonna have to go clear out this POI to get that. So that would be kind of interesting as well.
And then one thing thing, that you had just said, just a minute ago about the non-bandit wandering, NPCs, I kind of wonder, is that going to be something that they're looking to add, or is that going to be something that they're working on adding already? I mean, obviously bandits being confirmed for the actual like game itself. Like, yes, I know that there are mods out there that already do that. However, this being actually in the game, I mean, I wonder if they're already working on something along those lines as well, like a survivor, so to speak, like a wandering survivor. And I wonder if you can kind of team up with them or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, that would be something, and it's kind of funny. That's the one thing about most survival games, or like even creative games such as like Minecraft or again Valheim, that actually always bugs me, is that the worlds are so empty, and unless you're playing with other people, you don't ever see another like human NPC for the most part, like other than like maybe a trader. And that's something that I hope that they add to the game, whether it be they're wandering around, or maybe again there's just a building full of survivors. And the same goes with the kind of going back to the bandits specifically, is are they just always going to be hostile towards you, or is it like cool, you roll up on their base and they're like, hey, you need to get out of here, or like, what are you doing here? Or is there going to be some kind of dialogue, or is it just going to be, oh, I've spotted you, open fire? And the same goes with random NPCs. It's going to be nice to see more friendly, hopefully it would be nice to see more friendly NPCs just kind of wandering around out in the world, doing things. Or maybe they have a safe house set up where you walk in and they're like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, this is our building, we can offer you a bed for the night, or do you want to trade some supplies? Like, we'll give you these supplies if you guys could offer us this.
Oh, so kind of almost like an extra, that would actually be kind of cool, like almost like an extra kind of trader outpost area. Not necessarily like a full-on trader thing, but like if their settlement or if their survivor like enclave is like looking for specific supplies, like, oh hey, we really need some, we're really hurting on food, like our crew here is like really hurting on food. Is there, if you have any extra, I mean, we got some extra ammo laying around that we don't need, or we got some extra supplies that we're not really using, like maybe they could be of use to you. So I mean, I think that would be kind of cool, maybe almost like a little bit of a barter system rather than a trading.
Yeah, absolutely, because I mean, as you play the game, you're going to collect up a stockpile of supplies, and depending on your difficulty, you may have more food over ammo or more ammo over food, and you kind of need to balance that out a little bit, where it's like, man, I got all this ammo, but like I got no food,
but I'm dying here.
Yeah, I'm dying. So like, it would be nice to like, okay, cool, well, I know this enclave over here needs ammo, or they need food, and let's trade. Or and again, just going back to the simple kind of thing of what I was saying, it's just going to be nice to see other faces around the game to make the game feel more alive.
And then that was one thing as well, like with this bandit kind of integration that they're putting in here, with them actually implementing bandits into the game, it definitely feels, and especially with some of the other screenshots that we've seen from like the TFP from the Fun Pimps and about 7 Days Alpha 21, it really feels like they're really trying to flesh the world out. Like just a little bit ago, we got the screenshot for the wrecked van models that they've been working on. We got the school POI upgrades and stuff where like the desks like actually had like gum stuck to the bottom of them and everything. So it really feels like Alpha 21, they're really trying to flesh the world out and give it a little bit more, I don't want to say a little bit more story, but almost a little bit more story to where it just doesn't feel so alone.
And yes, I completely agree with you. It looks, and they did a lot with Alpha 20, Alpha 19 and Alpha 20, trying to flesh out the world. And I'm glad to see that they're still continuing on doing that. They've added so much in the game just in the last couple of years to make the POIs in different cities and stuff feel more alive and lived in. So hopefully now with them implementing, non-player NPCs into the game, it's going to continue to help push that out. But I think that should wrap this part up, and we're going to continue. We're going to have more discussions later on in the future. So if you guys are liking these, definitely hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit like as well to help boost us in the YouTube algorithm. We really, really do appreciate it anytime you guys do that.
The only thing that I would add is if you guys have any ideas of your own, or anything that you guys want to see added, or anything you guys want to hear us talk about, put it down in the comments. I'd love to read them. We read every single comment that we get. We super appreciate it. We love actually like conversing with you guys. If that's something that you want to do as well, we do have a Twitch page. Link is down in the description. Make sure you guys come visit us over there. Aside from that, if you guys have anything about bandits or anything like that you'd like to see implemented, talk about, anything like that, please put it down in the comments. Would love to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. But until next time, this is Obi.
This is Obi.
Signing out.
See you guys next time.